Well, his presidential bid is long past. He endorsed his former opponent, Mitt Romney, but Herman Cain still has a lot to say, and now he has a whole new place to say it. Welcome to CainTV. It's actually a website launched on Independence Day, and if you think you know what you'll find there, trust me, you don't. There's politics, sure, but also religion, technology, entertainment, inspiration, heck, even cooking. There's a wide array of contributors, but no mistaking who speaks for all.
The Tea Party, myself, and other pro-Constitution Americans believe in the Second Amendment, and as Benjamin Franklin once said, democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote. Let's give a lamb a gun. I'm Herman Cain. We are not stupid.
And Herman Cain joins me live in here in studio. I love how you watch yourself and you just laugh.
Look, this is a unique way of talking about how I support the Second Amendment. And a lot of people, you know, the whole idea is do it in a different, sometimes fun way. It's not overtly political, but it is covertly conservative.
Okay, interesting way to put it, because when I saw this, I saw segments about pursuing the American dream.
Yes.
I saw your twisted sense of humor. I definitely saw the, at times, wacky side to Herman Cain. You're definitely passionate about certain things. What do you want to accomplish with this?
Here's what I want to accomplish. We need a voice that resonates with the American people. That was the biggest takeaway that I got from my presidential run. People told me that all the time. And then after I dropped out of the race, people continued to say to me, please don't be silent. Don't let your voice go away. And certainly continue to be bold and unique in how you get the message over. Because one of the things that this country suffers from is too many people are apathetic or they have tuned out of what's going on. And people need to be better informed. That's really one of the objectives of creating that internet platform, CainTV.com.
You've played off this, they think we're stupid. They think we're stupid. I took a little part of that for the intro because, of course, I see that it grabs my attention. I listen to you. But I'm wondering, do you think we're stupid?
I believe too many people are stupid because too many people don't challenge some of the information that our leaders give or say to us. And I'm trying to wake people up. And that is basically to say, don't take some of our leaders at face value for some of the things that they say, because this is how a society can go down a very dangerous road. And so it might sound harsh, but it is waking some people up.
You say on the website, there is something for everybody.
Yes.
There is definitely something for everybody. I want to roll apart from street smarts.
Okay.
Lewis Brown.
Yes.
You have picked a very interesting individual. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. You asked him at this point about Middle East peace. Let's roll it.
They're not fighting over no land in the Gaza Strip. They're not fighting over, you know, Arab autonomy or Palestinian autonomy. They're not fighting over none of that. They're fighting over who's God's favorite, because they're brothers. And until Daddy takes a paddle and spanks that ass and makes them get along, you ain't never gonna have no peace.
So Lewis right now has 2 episodes on your website.
Yes.
You call it Street Smarts.
Yes.
First of all, how'd you find him?
One of my producers and videographers, Chris Burgard, he lives in California. He just happened to be walking down the street one day, came across Lewis, and asked Lewis, did he want to say something and put it on film? Lewis said yes. And he had an opinion on some things that really sort of shocked Chris. And he said, well, why don't we see what's on his mind? Even though he is a homeless person, that doesn't mean that he is clueless. He probably knows more about world issues and what's going on than a lot of people who think that they know what's going on. Now, I have one sad thing to say about Lewis. Lewis passed away just last week unexpectedly. So we only have about 3 episodes with Lewis, but we were going to continue. Unfortunately, Chris went back to shoot another episode and talked to some of his friends and found out that he unfortunately had passed of a heart attack.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Yes.
And this was one of the segments that drew I was drawn to it.
Yes.
First of all, because when I started listening, I thought, okay, what is Herman doing here? He's exploiting this guy. But then I listened to what he had to say.
Yes.
And he was a really smart guy.
He's very smart and insightful.
Is this the right approach? What were you hoping to do through the eyes of Lewis? And are you going to look for another Lewis?
We're going to look for other Lewises, but it's not going to be forced. It's going to be if it's a natural kind of a thing. What I wanted to achieve and what we wanted to achieve through the eyes of Lewis is to hear from regular folk, whether they are homeless or whether they live in a large home. If they have an opinion about what's going on, let's express that opinion. We want CainTV.com to be an alternative for messages that may not make it to some of the mainstream media outlets, may not make it to cable news, an alternate method, an alternate channel for people's messages, some of them movies, short stories, whatever, another alternative for people to get their messages out.
Now, when I was looking at this and I was talking to our entire staff, I said, I can't figure out if he's trying to do SNL, maybe become the Black Howard Stern, or are you looking at 2016 and you want to keep your name out there?
Nope. My mission is to help get this nation back on the right track. And I make no bones about what I'm trying to do and who I support. You indicated I'm supporting Mitt Romney, but I'm also responding to all of the supporters that I had, which is keep your voice out there and the way you say things, which is in your face, bold, and sometimes make people feel a little uncomfortable. And so the objective is to continue to keep my voice, my message, and others who share a similar message out there amongst the public narrative.
Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about CainTV, also news of the day. So stay with us because this is just the beginning. And if you're heading out the door, you can continue watching CNN from your mobile phone or your desktop. Just go to CNN.com/TV. We're catching up with Herman Cain, former GOP presidential hopeful, and he's got a new platform, CainTV. All right. I already told you I, at times, love your crazy, but I have to admit it's the inspirational stories on CainTV that I think are important to tell. And there's one that I picked specifically when you and your brother and mom went shopping.
Yes.
Mom was looking through the racks. You guys wanted to get a drink of water. Let's roll it.
And Mom specifically said, now y'all make sure y'all drink out of the colored fountain. Now, being typical young boys, we got over there and looked at those two water fountains, and we kind of looked around, and we kind of went, nobody's looking. And so my brother went first while I stayed on the lookout to sip the white water. And then he was on the lookout while I sipped the white water. And then we both sipped the colored water. We looked at each other. The water tastes the same.
Yes, you've always been rebellious, but you guys never really grasped the discrimination thing, did you?
No.
And you have never embraced African-American, that term.
No. And the reason that I like that particular segment is because I believe that one of America's greatest strengths is its ability to change. I'm not holding on to the past. I don't want to forget the past, whether you go all the way back to slavery. Even for a 4th of July celebration, I was on a program and someone said, I think it was Chris Rock, who made fun of the fact, well, it might be Independence Day, but the slaves weren't free then. But look at it this way. If America had not become independent, slaves might still be slaves. America's ability to overcome those things that it needed to overcome is one of the greatest attributes of this country.
I've got to ask you about news of the day.
Yes.
We're also waiting for the president to step up to the mic, so we're going to go to that as soon as that happens. Let me ask you about SCOTUS, the court's decision. You're a cancer survivor. You're a rich guy. You don't have to worry about health care. But for those cancer patients out there now, cancer survivors, what do you say to them about the court's decision, how it's going to impact them?
I believe that if we do not repeal Obamacare, future cancer patients, regardless of income, are going to suffer. And the less money you have, the more likely you are going to die. I know this firsthand, and here's why. I believe that we need to do some things to increase access and decrease costs. But I fundamentally do not believe that the Obamacare legislation and the law is the way to do it. If you look at everything that has been successful about great advancements in this country, it has come from competition. Another government system, go back to Social Security, started in 1935, it is a mess. Medicare, 1965, it is a mess. And now we want the government to take over the healthcare system. What I say to people who are cancer patients or who are being diagnosed with cancer today, that's one thing, but it's going to be worse for everybody in the future because another government-controlled program, in my opinion, I do not believe it can be successful. This is another reason I started CainTV.com, to give me another platform in addition to radio, in addition to guest appearances on shows like yours, thank you, to be able to try and get people to look below the rhetoric and let's figure out what is the right problem to work on and what's the right solution. That's what Herman Cain is about.
How about the right VP? Who should Mitt Romney pick? Does he need to pick a woman, a black, Hispanic?
I don't think the decision should be made upon gender or ethnicity. It should be made upon who is the best person who would be able to step into the shoes if something happens to Mitt Romney. Secondly, and secondarily, someone that can energize the base. I think that that's also important, but I don't think that that should be the number one thing. To pick someone based upon gender or ethnicity is pandering. That's not how you win elections. You win the presidency by offering, in my opinion, bold solutions and have a strong team around you, not necessarily based upon ethnicity.
Who's the best VP pick for Mitt Romney right now?
I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because
I know you have an opinion, and I know there's someone on your mind.
Because Mitt is going through a very structured process, which I agree with, and that's how he arrives at big decisions like this.
There's somebody you like. Who do you like?
I like me, but I've already taken my name off the table.
He's not going to pick you,
I know he's
Herman
not going to
Cain.
pick me.
Oh, my goodness. Let's
you
be
wanted to
real.
Know who do I like.
Yeah, I know. Look, you like yourself.
When I met with Mitt, the first thing I said was, I'm not looking for anything. I don't want anything. You know why?
Thank God.
So I put him at ease. I wanted to go off and do some other things like CainTV.
Who do you like?
I like Representative Allen West of Florida, Congressman Allen West. Now, the last time I threw his name out there, I was then quoted as, I think he should be the pick. No, he is one of the possibilities that I happen to think that would be a good choice. I think Representative Allen West would be a good choice. I happen to think that Senator Alott up in New Hampshire might be a good choice.
We were talking about her yesterday.
Yeah, not because she's a woman, but because of what I believe that she would bring. So I think that they would be good. There are some senators that I admire, like Senator Coburn of Oklahoma. I think he might be a good consideration. But ultimately, it has to be someone that Governor Romney believes in and believes that they could make a great team.
Herman Cain, thank you for stopping by. It's always interesting.
Thank you, Kira. My pleasure.
All right, as you know, the website is CainTV.com, and starting in January, Herman Cain will be taking over for Neil Bort's radio show right here in Atlanta. Live pictures once again. President Barack Obama campaigning in Maumee, Ohio. He's kicking off his Betting on America bus tour. We're going to keep monitoring this event. We'll bring you the president live as soon as he steps up to the mic.